Some people where you meet will show you true love. All them go come your way. Don't let them go away. For me, I hope. For me, I hope my baby. For me, I hope. For me, I hope. For me, I hope. For me, I hope my baby. For me, I hope. For me, I hope. For me, I hope my baby. Some people in your life are there to make you smile. Or they will take your pain and give you so much joy. For me, I hope. For me, I hope my baby. For me, I hope. For me, I hope. For me, I hope. For me, I hope my baby. For me, I hope. For me, I hope.
Good evening, everyone. We still have about 3 minutes to start, so we just give more time to have more people in today. Thank you for joining. I will give it more time for more people to join. Just wanted us to enjoy a bit of the music to cool ourselves, beautiful people from Chile, and then we'll start with the session of today.
Show me to go wrong. I wanna live my life with you. Show me up, show me to go wrong. I wanna live my life with you. You're like a beautiful sunrise in the morning. When I look into your eyes, you must be matching. Oh, you remind me that I am lucky. Not the one and I'm gonna live my life. I just wanna spend it all with you and grow with you and live the life with you. Oh yeah, I just wanna spend it all with you and grow with you and live the life with you. Oh yeah, show me up, show me to go wrong. I wanna live my life with you. Show me up, show me to go up. I wanna live my life.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, wherever you're watching me across the world or across Africa. My name is Yetunde Beatrice, and you're welcome to Peel Empowerment with Yeti. I mentioned earlier the purpose of this channel is to work together and support each other, share opportunities about study abroad, and how we can build ideas, to create a sustainable society. Welcome everyone for joining. Today, we're going to be focusing on study abroad opportunities, the do's and don'ts of what you need to do if you're looking to study in the UK. Not just only that, we will talk about how to channel your background, your academic background for career progression. We'll also talk about how to integrate into the system, and we'll talk about the mistakes some immigrants and some international students do when they come to study in the UK. Welcome once more. Thank you for joining me today. I am Yetunde Beatrice. And I do encourage you, please feel free to put your questions on the chat session. This is an opportunity for us to share ideas, for us to share personal and reasonable information that could help to build ourselves, to build myself as well, and to build members of the community. In my last video, I shared an information about what you need to know when you're looking to study in the UK or anywhere outside your country of origin. Now, today, I will be talking on in-depth information that would be useful for you or useful for your family, especially when you're considering coming into the UK or anywhere outside your country. Now, let's start first. What is the first topic of conversation? What are the first topic we're going to talk about? Is what are the different popular programs that have more opportunities in the UK? I'll start with that. I'm very sure if I ask every of our audience right now, you have a lot to talk about. Now, very popular one which everyone knows about is nursing. Number one, nursing. Number two, social work. Number three, medicine. Number four, engineering. So those four subjects are quite popular. Very correct, it's very, very popular. But personally, I have a different view about it. And my view is that no matter the program you've studied, as long as you can identify a very good niche for yourself, or probably do what you're best at doing, then you can always have a way or create an opportunity for yourself or for your family. Now, let's start with, we all know the information that goes round online, information that goes round on books or in internet. Who will tell you if you don't come to do nursing, well, you wouldn't get a job quickly. Or let's say if you don't get a courses like engineering, you wouldn't get a job quickly. But my ideology is different. Now, that does not dispute the fact that if you do those courses, opportunities open for you. But the question is, do you know that you can also do programs like business courses, science or life science courses, or probably education courses that could create more opportunity for you? Wow, how possible is that? Now, a year back, the UK government were actually dwelling more on the whole Brexit. And as a result of Brexit, a lot of opportunities open for international students, not just international students from any African country or Asian country, but international students who have come from other European country, or international students who have come from America, or who have come from any other background or Asia background. Now, after the Brexit happened, there was a lot of rules that were relaxed. For instance, if you get a job in the UK, previously rather, you need to be paid up to £30,000 a year. But now is now reduced to £25,000 a year to be sponsored by any organization that have the sponsorship license. Now, so don't you worry, I will talk about that in my next video. License sponsorship is a whole different ballgame. But before you get to that stage as an international student, the best thing for you to do is to prioritize your studies. The purpose why you are in the UK or the purpose why you are in any other country you wish to go to. And that starts from the course or the master's course or the PhD course you have decided to study. Let's take, for example, if you've never studied nursing, you never studied engineering, or you never studied what do they call it, IT. Now, what else can you do? How can you create an opportunity for yourself? There are different ways you could do that. Now, we have a situation whereby students come into the UK who actually would do a management course. Probably during the process when they are doing their management course program, they can enroll themselves in other online programs to boost their employability. Yes, that is a possible way of you boosting yourself. For instance, you could be a management student and at the same time look for short courses on digital skills or short courses on marketing or digital marketing to boost your employability. And by doing that, you're opening more chances for organizations to recruit you, and you are creating more transferable skills for yourself. That is another example. Another key example is a situation whereby a student who would do management or let's say accounting background or courses in the UK, and later on you feel you are someone who care for people, who love to take care of the old. Do you know, regardless of your background, you can actually pick up caring experience in the UK? Oh, yes. Now, questions will come in to say, why should I do care? People talk about care experience. Why should care? If I do care, is it going to be helpful in in my career progression? Or probably I have people asking me this question. I did accounting and finance. When I came to the UK, my 20 hours, I used it for a care work. Do you think that is transferable to any organization I go to later on? Well, the answer to that will be yes. How will that work? Let's take, for example, if you're here and you did economics, for instance, or let's say you did management and human resource, and you try looking for opportunity in the UK to use up your 20 hours to get work experience, and you didn't get any. Obviously, you know that the easiest job to look out for, especially if you're a student that could create a flexibility of attaining your 20 hours, is going or working in a care home, working as a support worker, or probably working in the grocery stores, or probably working in an organization, voluntary organization, or within the student union. Now, what are the things you need to consider? Now, if you do management and human resource, you can apply for a support work in any agency. Now, support work in the sense that you work in a place where you can work with the old people, you can work and take care of people with mental health, or you work with people who are depressed, or people who need befriending opportunity, people who need friends to take care of them, or people who need people to just talk to naturally. So yeah, that's also a kind of job you can do in the UK. Now, some organization or some agency will pay you of an amount of £7 to £10 per hour. Some go as high as £12 or £15 per hour, depending on where you're being asked to work. Yes. Now, for such a student who have a management and human resource, that is a great opportunity. You don't only save up money, but also you save up a transferable skills to care for people and how to manage people, not just physically, but also psychologically. Now, if I were to be that student who have the management and human resource degree and I've worked in a care home, when I'm organizing my own CV, I can put into that CV that I've managed people, I've learned how to work with people from diverse age and also to work with people who are vulnerable. That is a great opportunity, which is transferable. And also, if you don't want to go into your accounting and finance background, you can as well apply for care or support job that could sponsor you a skilled worker visa in the UK. Is it that amazing? Yes, it is. Now, let's just move further. That is just an example of accounting and finance. Now, if you're a science student, you're here, you're watching me, or let's say you haven't even applied to the UK, and you feel, would it be possible for me to do a course like nursing? I can tell you, and I can tell you 100% that yes, you can go for courses like nursing or social work. How do you assess that? Now, this information might not just be useful for yourself, but also might be useful for any friend or any family that you know. So before I continue, I do encourage you to please like this video, also share this live streaming, and remember to subscribe to this channel, Peel Empowerment with Yeti, where I bring you a daily dose and dishes of knowledge of how to get a study opportunity in the UK, and now you can build on your skills to get a career progression in the UK. There's one thing I do normally say, it's not just about getting the degree, it's not just about moving from one country to another, but it's about getting the hands-on experience, the international experience to get the skills that could improve you or increase anything or increase your knowledge. Now, let's talk about how you can tap into nursing courses or social work courses as a non-science student or someone without a nursing background. Now, do you know if you have an accounting and finance background, economics background, or microbiology background, or zoology background, you can do the nursing course. Now, the mistake students make is they don't know the difference between a post nursing qualification and a pre registration qualification. If you have another experience in finance, in business, anywhere, you can apply for a pre registration courses. Now, how do you assess that? Very simple. All you need to do is to ensure that you have a work experience, a care work experience, or an experience that showed you have supported someone medically in a way. Now, the question is, how can I achieve that? Now, we've had situation whereby students can apply back from their own country, whether you are in Zimbabwe, Zambia, Malawi, Nigeria, Angola, South Africa, any Asian country, India, all over across the world. Now, if let's say you work in a bank, you've cared for your mother before, or you've had opportunity to volunteer for a community development project for up to 650 hours, you can apply for the MSc pre-registration nursing course. Reason because it's not just about your degree, but also the experience you've been able to acquire, which will actually show how well you care for people. And the pre-registration nursing program will start from the scratch because students are known that they're known to have little or no knowledge or prior knowledge to the full nursing program. Another thing students to do is you might be here already in the UK and you feel, you know what, I think I've done the wrong course. I studied engineering. Now let's say I'm doing project management. And I feel, can I still move to nursing even with a project management course? Remember, I mentioned earlier, I said some students who come into the UK during their studies, they make use of their 20 hours to work with agency. Now, don't doubt me. What I'm trying to say is you have the opportunity of using the 20 hours. If you can use that for agency, if you have the plans to go for an healthcare career, you do your agency work, and that agency work will be a proof that you've supported and helped or you've impacted into lives in the health sector. And that alone can help you for your second master's into an MSc pre-registration nursing. So which means anyone from any background, as long as you care for people, as long as you are very passionate to support either the old or people who are affected medically or people who are vulnerable, yes, you can access the MSc pre-registration nursing course. And upon finishing, you get registered under the NMC. And after registration, the sky is your limit. Because we all know how the healthcare jobs are well sought for. Now, aside of that, do you also know with that care experience you have, you can access MSc social work courses, especially if you are someone who have come from the education background, or probably you work as a psychologist, or probably you've done a science-based courses, or you are a public health person or analyst, and you have the experience of caring for people, caring for children, caring for the old, caring for the vulnerable. Yes, you are 100% qualified for an MSc social work course. It could be for your second master's. And if you're coming from Nigeria or from your home country, Ghana, Zimbabwe, Kenya, Malawi, if you have the care experience back home, you can also use that with your science-based program or your education background to apply for MSc social work. And we all know that after nursing, MSc social work is also a very popular program and which is in high demand. Now, what else do you need to know? How do you channel your current program for your career progression? That's a very good question. Now, the truth of it is that not everybody will be a nurse, not everyone will be a social worker, not everyone will be an engineer, not everyone will have the opportunity of going to a medical school. But at the same time, we still have people who have done other programs who still have opportunities here in the UK. Now, I mentioned in my previous video about education. Education is a very fantastic course that people overlook, mostly outside the UK. Currently, if you're from Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, I've had experiences where people would say, I study education, and I feel education doesn't really give me much thing to do. Do you think I can have opportunity in the UK? I would say 100% yes, only if you know the right path on how to get your experience. Now, don't forget there are a lot of universities that offer MA education. Some courses also allow education, people with education background to access courses like MSc Pre-Registration Nursing or MSc Social Work for a second degree or second master's degree. You can also access developmental psychology program. An example is the university where I work, University of Lincoln. We have access to those programs if you meet the entry requirements. Now, channeling your current program to your career progression. Now, I mentioned earlier, because of Brexit, things are now made easier, which means that as an international student, you tend to compete with an EU person for job. You will apply for a job as long as you're eligible for that job, you pass your interview, you're in already. The same right an EU person will have is the same right you would have to apply or to get sponsored. Isn't that amazing? That is really wonderful. So, which means everyone have the equal opportunity in the UK to get the work experience. Now, one thing I do advise students, if you have studied a course in your home country and you feel that course hasn't given you enough profile or enough experience to explore in a new place you're going to be dwelling, it's advisable for you to consider an alternative master's course or program that would improve you or push you out of the job market. An example would help every of my viewers right now. So let's say I'm here, I studied a course like English language, and you're coming from Ghana. It's reasonable enough for you to say, okay, I will do a master's or I'll do a master's in management. But I wouldn't advise such students to look into doing a master's in English. Why? Because you have to think about this. You studied English in your home country. You're coming to England to study English. Now, how well can you be good in that English to teach the children who are already English themselves? Is it that funny? Yes, it is funny. So, which is why I do advise people when you're coming to study, think about the course. Look at the outline of the course. Look at the module of the course. Look at the prospects of the program. Do you think it can give you an opportunity? If not, what else can you do? So imagine if I were the one who actually studied English and I'm coming to the UK to study. The first thing I will look out for is, instead of me doing English for a master's course, I can just look for a course like management with project management. And that could give me another field to dwell in. And with the project management course, you can access any business organizations that deal with project management. Isn't that amazing? Another thing you can also think of is, let's say if you're someone who have done languages. So apart from English, there are other people who did French, Spanish. Those are also very, very attractive program you can actually progress in. Doing other languages, which make you outstanding in any organization you find yourself. Because most organizations or some organization are always keen to employ someone who knows more, two or more languages. If that is your strength, please don't keep that. Use that. Another example I would like to give is maybe someone who did botany as a course. Now, sometimes it just amazed me, amazed me when students call me and then say funny things like, "Oh, I did zoology in my course." Then I ask them, "Why did you do the course?" I did the course because at the time when I was writing my JAM exam, I tried to do medicine, but I didn't fit into medicine. It just threw me into any course, and I picked up zoology because I wanted to get a degree. Now, there are cases like that where students will say, "I did botany," but naturally, they never liked the course. They just did it because they wanted a degree. Now, how do you channel such a degree to another degree that can give you an opportunity? Do you know with a botany degree, if you care for someone or you're passionate about caring, you can actually do a pre-registration nursing course? Oh, yes. How can that be done? By simply applying, by simply getting a 650 hours experience of caring. Now, a question here from the viewers would be, how do I get 650 hours of caring? Very simple, very easy. Do you work in the church? Do you serve in the mosque? Do you serve in any community? Have you taken care of children before? Now, an example is probably a student who wants to write a personal statement for nursing. Some of them would say, "Oh, I don't think I have an experience in nursing." And then I ask them a question. When you go to church every Sunday, or you go to the mosque every Friday, or you go to pray, or you go to meet some of your friends, have you had opportunity of caring for a group of children, monitoring them, ensuring they are safe because children are vulnerable? And then you hear this thing pop up from their mind. "Oh yeah, I remember. I've worked with children before. In fact, every Sunday I do this." That is a work experience that could go into your personal statement. Isn't that amazing? Now, most people don't know about this, and that's why they write limit things, they limit themselves to just their personal statement. They forget the extra bit of work they do to support in the community. Another example is if you've done your NYSC in Nigeria, or you did your community development project in Ghana, and you had opportunity of taking care of people or taking care of your peers or your colleague. That is also another way of caring, which you could show and expatiate more on your personal statement or on your CV. I'll take an example. Imagine if we have a bulb, a light bulb, and then you've been asked to describe a bulb. You can easily say a bulb is just a thing or equipment that illuminates light. Another person would say a bulb is just a bulb that brings light. A third person could say, well, a bulb is also like an equipment that illuminates light, radiates it, and also ensure there is visibility of your environment. You can see I've created three different meaning of a bulb. And that is what makes you outstanding. How you sell yourself, how you make use of that little experience, expand that experience, and make it make sense to any employer or to any organization who would want to employ you, either temporarily or voluntarily. So that is a very good tip, which I do give everyone to look out for. Now, channeling what you have as an experience in getting what you want exactly. Now, another situation which you can also think of is, imagine if I did a course like biochemistry. As a biochemist, you can also channel into an engineering field. No, that looks very, very weird, right? But I'll tell you, it's not weird. I've seen scenarios where students who will do a biochemistry course and maybe will do a master's program, and the person is really passionate about energy, or the person is passionate about the use of solar system. And you say, "You know what, I did a bit of a science courses and physics. I'm good at physics." That person can do courses like environmental management, or probably the person can just look for an environmental science course to do. So you can see you've moved from a biochemistry course or a bioscience course into an environmental science program. Now, that same person can then increase their knowledge or go for more research or short courses on renewable energy, or learn things about sustainable energy, and begin to build their portfolio and their understanding. And by doing that, you are broadening your horizon, and you can end up applying to organizations and companies that deal with energy. Very easy and very simple. Now, not that easy. Now, it's very easy to say, but I can tell you, hard work also pays. You have to do your own job by making research, reading more, doing short courses online. You can even go to the essence of doing data because data is very important in any organization, which means as a scientist, you can decide to do a short certification in data that could allow you get jobs in any health research organization. So, as I mentioned, you might not have the nursing background, you might not have the engineering course background, you might not have the medical background, but you can channel your personal experience, your academic background, and get other smaller certifications to boost your employability. Now, let's move on. Mistakes that people make. There are lots of mistakes international students make. And I do advise you, please listen if you're listening. And I do advise you, please, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and also help this channel grow by sharing to your friends, to your family, and reminding them to subscribe. And I do encourage you, if you have your question, please, this is a platform for you to ask any question or any doubt you might have about study abroad. Because they say something, and I just says, a closed mouth is a closed destiny. You only ask. When you ask for information, you get information. Don't keep to yourself, just keep asking till you get to your destination. Now, there are some little mistakes that people make. A bit of mistake people make when they're looking to study abroad. The mistakes start from looking at their own past background or probably in terms of documentation. Now, an example is a situation whereby a student have applied for a visiting visa before coming into the UK or before even thinking of applying. And when they are applying, they refuse to declare their previous visa refusal. Do you know that there are some institutions that would request or that would demand that you declare your previous visa refusal? Then, if you fail to declare that, at the point where you are supposed to be issued a CAS, you can be denied a CAS. Why? Because that is seen as deceptive. So the fact that you've been refused visa before doesn't mean that you will not be given an offer and doesn't mean that you will not be given a CAS. But the university just wants to ensure that they are recruiting a genuine student. Now, a question here will be, what is a CAS? A CAS, of course, is an acceptance letter that have a unique number from the UKVI, and that letter is what you use for your visa application. And that same CAS letter is as very powerful as your visa. But it's not a visa, it won't allow you to come into the UK, but it's something that your dependents will also depend on to make application. Without a CAS, you cannot apply for visa, and your dependents cannot apply for visa if they are depending on you to come to the UK on a student visa. Now, don't forget to declare any previous refusal. Probably if you've been refused anywhere in Ghana or maybe you've been refused in any neighboring country, it's always good for you to declare that. That's number one. Number two, check your documents. Most people don't check their documents. Now, we've had situation, or I personally, in my personal experience, would have situation whereby student would submit just any document for application. Don't forget, your documents are kept for record. If you go into a particular institution and you graduate 10 years, 15 years to come, if you come back in the next 50 years, your documentation are being kept somewhere. So if you keep the wrong documentation, you keep the wrong document, send the wrong document will be kept for you, but also might not allow you to progress. Now, we've had a situation whereby some students would have result like WAEC. They don't even check their names in WAEC. And at the end of the day, when they use that document to apply, they get stuck of getting offers from universities. How? So let's say you're here, you're being Muhammad. It's a very, very common thing in West Africa. You're being Muhammad, but at the point of writing your exam, your WAEC exam, you wrote Ahmed instead of Muhammad. That is a no. It can have a lot of effects because another person can be Ahmed and never a Muhammad. While you, a Muhammad and Ahmed, they are different people. They are different people entirely. Now, don't forget, when you are doing any documentation, you're doing any application, always, and I say always, and I repeat, always use your exact name, your full name, because interchanging names like changing clothes can be very dangerous. Let me take, for instance, let's say I'm from Ghana and I bear Nana Kwame, Bonsoir, and I bear John. Imagine me using John Bonsoir in my BSc certificate, having that. And then in my WAEC or my SSC certificate, having Nana Bonsoir. That looks very, very confusing. So the mistakes that people make is playing around with names. We all understand that, for instance, ideally in Africa, one person could have like 10 names, 8 names. In Asia, it might happen. Some people do have 5, 3, 7 names. Now, forgetting that coming into the Western world, like the UK, people hardly have 5, 6, 7 names. So, which means that it's not advisable for you to start playing around with names. If you want to stick to just 2, 3, 4 names, 2, 3 names in your document, then stick to those documents. The only time you're allowed to change name is if you're getting married as a lady or as a man, probably you're changing your surname for a particular reason that you need to show a proof of why you're changing names. But it's not advisable for you to play around with names like we are juggling clothes or we are changing jeans or we are changing shoes. Now, this is very, very common, and these are the mistakes that people make having to change names. I mentioned earlier, John Bonsoir and Nana Bonsoir can be termed as different people. Now, how do you sort that out as a student? If you fall in that kind of category, the advice I do advise you to do is make sure you have your birth certificate. Your birth certificate contains all your name. That is also something that could show a proof that you bear all the names. And additionally, getting an official letter from the awarding body, from the awarding organization, can also be a way to save you. Now, let's say, for instance, if you studied in a university and then you had your name different from your WAEC. When I mean different, probably you missed your middle name with your last name, and probably you then missed your first name with your last name in another certificate. The best thing for you to do is to get an official letter from your university stating that you are the same person. And any application you do that you would need to add those certificates on, you can attach that letter to it as a verification. Isn't that amazing? Now, another danger of you interchanging name. Let's take, for instance, when you're applying to a course in the UK, you use the name John Isaac. Forgive me if you're bearing John on this platform and you're viewing me right now. And you bear John Isaac. And on your passport, you bear Kwame John James. You can see that those are different. Let's say the university overlooked it and then they allowed you applied and you got a visa. Do you know you can get to the UK border and then you've been checked? The question they will ask you is, but this seems different from what you have here. Or they could ask you, can I also get your passport? Do you have any other license with you? Or do you have any other thing with you? And then they begin to see a contradicting name. It could raise an alarm when there isn't supposed to be any alarm. So don't make the mistakes of changing your name like you're changing clothes. Names are not clothes. Pick official names that you've been using from the beginning of your studies, whether during your secondary school level or during your university level, and make sure you are consistent. Don't change name except if you have to marry and you have to change the name legally. Now, apart from that, there are also other things students make mistakes in. Preparing their mind for a new setting and a new environment. That is something you need to also bear in mind. Now, let's say you've come from a country where things are just being done in a fast way. They call it sharp, sharp in Africa. You want things that you just buy your way around. You do this thing, you buy your way around. But I would say, unfortunately, you can't buy your way around in the UK or in another man's country, especially if you don't know the system. Coming to the UK as an international student or bringing your dependent, there are so many things you need to know. If you're coming for with a dependent, as an example, the first thing I do encourage you to do is preparing accommodation. Now, there could be a scenario, or there have been examples of people who will come in with their family who just walk in without settling accommodation and then expect a magic accommodation to happen. So prepare yourself when you're coming, plan for your family, don't bring them here and leave them stranded. If you have a family and you feel you can't get an accommodation because of the cost or because it's expensive, the ideal thing for you to do is to come first. Apply for the visa, or you all can apply. You come first because the VNet, which you will be given to come into the UK, would have the expiry date. And when you come, you can come look for a bigger accommodation and then invite your family to come over. By doing that, you're making life easier for your spouse, either for your husband, or for your wife, or for your kids. So make life easy. Don't just appear in the UK without preparation of where to stay, whether you're staying with a friend or family and then planning to look for a bigger space is something you need to bear in mind. And also, there's a mistake that some people don't, some people make, especially those people who are married with kids and they're coming to study in the UK. The common mistake they make is thinking you can put a male child and a female child in the same room. Now, you can have a family of five, the father, the mother, and three kids, and they have a girl and two boys. And then their major budget will be getting a two-bedroom flat. Do you know that mentioning to an agency that you have three kids, one boy, two girls, and then you're looking for a two-bedroom flat would actually disqualify you of getting an accommodation? Oh, yes. How? Because you can't put the male and the female kid in the same room. Now, I totally understand that you would think, but they are siblings, but where we are coming from, they share the same room but a different bed. How come this is not allowed in the UK? So it is not allowed. It wouldn't be allowed, and I don't think it will be allowed. Now, the best thing for you to do is get a three-bedroom flat. If you can't, probably you might plan having both your husband and the son in a room and you and the girl in a room. But please do bear in mind that you can't declare or you can't say you are putting a male and a female in the same room. If you are not prepared for a bigger accommodation, the best thing for you to do first is come first. But you can apply for visa together, and when you come here, you arrange a bigger accommodation for your family. Now, another mistake that people make. Now, as an international student, it might not be easy for you to get accommodation. Reason because sometimes you can be asked questions like, can you provide your proof of work in the UK? Or can you provide that you have a residency in the UK? Now, we all totally understand that when you're coming from the UK, we won't expect you to have an existing job in the UK. But don't forget that you have a work which you're doing in your home country, and you can apply or you can use your bank statement from home and your work that you're doing in your home country to apply for your accommodation. Yes, it is possible. All you just need to do is just to be transparent. If you're coming with your family, work with your partner. Your partner can also submit their own bank statement just to show that you are capable enough to pay the fees, and then you'll be granted a fees from any housing agency you apply for, anywhere you're coming to study. Is it that amazing? And is it that great? Now, I would also encourage you once more, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Now, this channel is to help every members of the public, for us to share ideas, for us to also talk more about opportunities. As I mentioned, as I begin to progress on this channel, I would also be inviting people on a weekly basis in the future, people who have organizations to recruit people for part-time jobs. I'm also going to be bringing live people who have the experiences, people who have also once been a student before and who are currently being sponsored in the UK. And the reason why I decided to do that is that to create a case study for you, and also for you to know that wherever you find yourself, as long as your heart is there and you're willing, you're hardworking, you can achieve every of your aim and dreams. Now, adaptation. I mentioned about preparation. I mentioned about the mistakes that people make, especially if you're coming with a dependence. One thing that is very important is adapting into the system. How do you adapt? I mentioned earlier, when you're coming from your country, there are some rules that might apply to you. But when you are in another person's country or you're migrating to another country, just bear in mind that there are new rules you just have to adapt to. Yes, new rules you just have to adapt to. And what are those new rules? Now, I'm coming from Ghana, for instance, and I feel if I come into the UK, I mean, everybody should accept me, everybody should smile at me on the roadside. Or probably I'm coming to the UK, I feel the educational system is something I can just give somebody my assignment to do. Or I'm not saying that is very common, it's not common in Africa. Some do, some don't, some are very disciplined. But you're coming into a system whereby you are just on your own, and it's about you learning how to analyze and how to write critical essay writing. So I'll also create another webinar or another live event that will talk about the educational system and what you need to do to excel when you're coming to study. So that will be in my next episode or my next show next week. And I do encourage you, if you have any question, please send that in advance. You can always follow me on YQ blog on Facebook. You can as well follow me on Instagram at Ogedengbe Yetunde on Instagram, and DM me a particular topic or major issue you want me to talk about or advice about. And also, you can subscribe. Please subscribe to Pure Empowerment with Yeti TV. And don't forget to share. Don't be the only one to hear this opportunity. And also, if you have questions, put that on the live chat session, and I'll pick those questions and answer them. As I mentioned, a closed mouth is a closed destiny. And education is the key to success. Education is the only way we can create awareness and improve ourselves as leaders. So, let me just continue with the area of adapting into the system. Now, as I mentioned, whatever lifestyle you might be living can be dropped outside at the border. When you're coming into the UK, is a new rule, is a new life, is a whole total new thing. People expect you to be able to be firm in your decision, be able to plan yourself in advance, and also this whole thing of African time or Asian time is something that is not common in the UK. For instance, you can have your classes for 8 o'clock and you have a bus to catch by 7:30, and you think when you get to the bus stop by 7:31, you still get the same bus. Unfortunately, it wouldn't happen, and it doesn't happen here. I totally understand back home, you can have some buses which will come late, and then you can, jump on the bus, and my lecturer will always come late. But here, things are organized and things are done in a timely manner. If you're someone who is organized, or someone, even if you're not organized, you're able to pick up that organizing skill from the lifestyle here, the sky will be your limit. Because by doing that, you'll be able to plan yourself ahead, you'll be able to plan your life ahead, you'll also be able to look for opportunity in advance and don't wait to the last minute. So I hope you've been able to get all the information you need for today. I do encourage you, please do not forget to ask your question. And don't forget, anywhere you go in the world, as long as you are hardworking, as long as you believe and you want to achieve, you can always achieve every of your aim. And one thing I do say, wherever you're traveling to, whether you're coming to the UK or New Zealand or Australia or the US, do not forget to ask questions. Do not forget to ask questions. Now, a situation whereby students will come into the UK or a migrant will come into another country and just keep mute to themselves is not an ideal word. The best way for you to do is to make friends, talk to people. I'll talk about that in my next channel, but I'll just mention a bit about it. There are places where you can meet friends and people. For instance, if you're here, you come with a family, you can always start with a church or start with a mosque if you're a Muslim. Or if you don't have any religion, you can always go to a bar, you can always go to a restaurant. Check online as well for events that are happening around you. You can check online for virtual events where you can network and meet people. Or also, if you're coming to study, you can as well associate yourself with your students' union. And that's a way of you meeting people from different countries, people from diverse backgrounds, and meeting alumni who have previously studied from your citadel of learning. And that's a way to get information. You ask them how they're able to survive while they're in their new country. Ask them how they're able to survive in the educational system. Ask them how they're able to get opportunities. Ask them how they're able to juggle things together and manage their workload. Because sometimes it's not easy, especially if you are a married person, you have a baby to deal with, and you're studying at the same time, and then your husband needs to go out and then do the work if they are the dependents. You having 20 hours to work, you don't want to waste your 20 hours, you still want to work and then juggle things together. There are ways you can play things around. And the good thing about the UK is education for kids are free. That is amazing. At least you don't need to worry about paying for fees. Even if you're going to pay for things, they are just maybe uniform material, feeding material, feeding fees. Those are the little things you pay for in the UK, and that makes it an amazing place to be in. Amazing place that supports children, women, men, and mental health in general. So, if you're married, congratulations to you. Congratulations to you if you have applied to come to the UK or you're planning to go out of the country. Congratulations to you if you've gotten your offer. Congratulations to you if you've gotten your cars. And congratulations to you if you're here but you haven't applied, but you're still thinking to apply. I can tell you, you are in the right place because this is the moment and this is the right step you're taking by being on Pill Empowerment with Yeti to learn every information which you would like to learn. So, as I mentioned in my next video, or my next live event, I will talk about what you need to assess if you're bringing your wife, your husband, and your kids into the UK. I will talk about the things that you have access to as a student, as an international student, how you can also have your way around juggling things together, because that is very, very important. As I mentioned, if you're here to study, your study is your key priority. But while your study is your key priority, make sure your 20 hours is not a waste so that you can have a work experience to give you an opportunity after studies. Yes, because when you apply for jobs, sometimes they do request for a UK experience. So if you don't have that UK experience with your 20 hours, how would you be able to get a UK experience? Now, there are different tips of how you can get a UK experience, but stay with me in the next episode of Study Abroad Opportunities, and I'll share with you how you can pick up some experience and how you can tailor that in your CV to get opportunities. In my last week video, I mentioned a case study, which is myself. I studied microbiology, for instance, but currently I'm working in a higher education sector. How did I get an higher education sector with a microbiology job? Very, very easy. Well, not too easy as people would say, but I was just being able to pick up opportunities, being able to use the opportunities to expand my knowledge and my ideas and my experience, and then tailor my experience to that job that I really want, and then I went for it. And don't forget, I had a degree in microbiology, BSc. I had a clinical microbiology master's degree. I had two degrees, both undergrad and master's, and they're all clinical microbiology. But I later had a PGC with an opportunity I got from a university in Glasgow to build my higher education experience. And from there, I found myself working in the student union by running for the election for 2 years, got the experience as a recruiter, and then applied for a Citadel of Learning University of Lincoln. So you can see it has been a whole journey, a very longer journey, but a journey that gave me more opportunity to work here. And also having owning a business as well has also helped me here in the UK. So as a student, you finish your studies, you go into your graduate visa route, which is the 2 years, start thinking of business ideas, start thinking of organizations to work with. And also, I will create another video where I'll talk about different visa that you can tap into. Not just only the skilled visa, we have the startup visa, we have the innovator visa, we have the spouse visa. There are different type of visas. So I will do a separate video to talk about different visas in the UK and how that could be a benefit for you as a responsible citizen. So I've come to the end of today's show. I really want to make it short because of time. So I would say stay tuned on my channel. Continue to watch this video, and share this video. Don't be the only one to learn from this. Share with your sister, with your brother, with your friends, with your parents, with your spouse, and share with your colleague, your housemate. Share with them. And also stay tuned. Once you subscribe, click on the notification bell. When I go live, you get a notification on your phone or your laptop, and then you can watch me and ask any question you want. Thank you so much for listening today. And I hope you've gotten all the information that you need to get to the next level. As I mentioned, a closed mouth is a closed destiny. Keep asking your questions and don't stop dreaming. Don't stop achieving. Believe in yourself. When I mean believe in yourself, I'm not trying to say you should be proud or something. But believing in yourself is being positive, bringing the positive energy into yourself. When you fall, stand up again and do it again, because nothing comes easy in this world. Even in our own country, you have to apply for jobs, you have to apply for opportunity, you have to write exams. So don't expect that things will be easier in other countries as well. It's the same rule of nature. It's all the same rule of nature. As long as you're able to adapt and also strategize, and as well, shaping your mindset to fit into your society, you can get anything you want. Now, the journey might be rough, it might not be smooth. That's the truth about life. But just keep going, because life is just like a ladder. If you need educational experience, or you need to relocate, from Nigeria or from Ghana or from the US, because some people would also want to relocate from the UK as well to any other country. The first thing for you to do is identify opportunity wherever you're going to. Once you get the opportunity, you get there. When you get to the new environment, adapt to the new environment. Don't bring your own personal, you know, ideology to things always. Be a listener, a better listener. Be someone who is willing to learn, not just someone who is willing to do the talking. As long as you have that mindset, you would achieve whatever you want to achieve. So thank you very much, my lovers. And I pray that everything works well for you, and you will be on this show next week to share with me your positive experience. And if you're someone who is looking to change your degree totally, please don't forget, you can change your degree as long as the new degree you are changing to, as long as in the new degree you are changing to, you want to explore. Yes, you can change your degree. Thank you for joining. We have some questions from Facebook direct message asking me, how can I change my degree from education to nursing? I mentioned that earlier. I said if you want to change your degree from a non-nursing degree, all you need to do is get the care experience, about 650 hours, then apply for an MSc pre-registration nursing. You don't need to go and start from the beginning. Just apply for a pre-registration nursing. Once you get that, you can apply. You apply. You also get a police certificate. If you're from Ghana, from Nigeria, you can walk into the police station, get a police certificate. Some university will request for an interview just to know how well you are prepared, to do the nursing course, or to do the social work program. So some of them are like that. So I had a message as well directly from Facebook, a student asking, can I bring my dependent? Yes, you can bring your dependent. If you're married, I do not advise you. I mean, if you can't leave your family back in your own country, be free to bring them into the UK, as long as you have the finance to cater to take care of them. And I mentioned in my last video last week that if you're coming to study and your dependent is coming on you, your dependents have the opportunity of working longer hours. You as a student, you are restricted to 20 hours to work a week. So while you're working, remember that the 20 hours shouldn't be a waste, because if you're applying for more jobs in the UK, or anywhere you find yourself, you can be asked for UK experience. If you're in New Zealand or Australia, you can be asked for an Australia experience. So how do you get the experience if you don't use the little amount of hours that's been given to you to work? So make use of it. If you can't work, it mustn't be you using the 20 hours. Some people do 10 hours, 5 hours, just to have a little experience, so that when they're applying for jobs, they can see something to put on their portfolio or on their CV. So just one last question I'll pick before calling it a day. Someone just asked here that I heard that it's only nursing IT that gets job. Can I get job as a project manager? Yes, you can, if you're willing to look for the opportunity. For instance, if you're coming to study, don't wait to the last minute, till maybe a month when your visa ends, before you start looking for job. If you want to work in the US, you can start applying for job while you are in the UK. You want to work in Canada while you're in the UK. You want to work in the UK while you are study, after you study. what you need to do is start in advance, because you're not the only one applying for that opportunity. You're not the only one applying for that job. And also acquire more skills. You'll be surprised that in most organizations, they don't even look at what you have, whether it's 2-1, 2-2, or third class. Yes, most organizations don't even look at third class, 2-1, or first class. Third class, 2-1, first class are important if you're looking to apply for a scholarship. Yes, if you're looking to apply for a scholarship, or you're going for a particular professional course that require a 2-1 or 2-2 first class, do you believe that if you are a third class person, you have a third class degree, you finish a master's degree, and then you have like let's say you did project management in your master's, your undergrad, you have a management background, and for your other skills acquired, you did data analysis, maybe short course, you later went to do software and skills somewhere. Do you know that you can actually get job in a very top organization because you have the bit and bit professional certification in those, skills, IT skills, and let's say software skills. So yes, and they wouldn't even look at your third class. It is what you have upstairs that matters. That matters, or matters, how you call it, whatever you call it, matters. So what matter is what you have upstairs. What do you have to offer? How can you shape the organization? What skills do you have? What skills can you bring? If you're someone and you feel you don't know how to read, you like talking, go and look for a job that involves talking. If you're someone that your skills is just talking, like for me, I talk when I'm supposed to talk, but I'm a very quiet person. But if you like talking is your skills. Don't waste your time on jobs that will not even give you that chance. Just make use of that talent you have, channel that into other professional certification you get. Okay, if I am a good talker, I like talking, I can decide to go and do short courses in public speaking or digital marketing. You know, go for courses that suit into your profile. By the time you're being asked an interview, okay, you did management. Why did you do short course in digital skills or something? Oh, yes, I like talking. I like, presenting. I like, discussing about issues. I like bringing people together. I like organizing virtual events. So by doing that, you've used your own personal skills to, put into as your personal experience and transferable skills. So I'll just talk about that in my next video. So I'll call it a day. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in on Pure Empowerment with Yeti. And I hope you have a wonderful time ahead. And yes, take good care of yourself. And I'll see you next week. And please watch out for the next date. So I might have the next I'm going to be having the next show on Sunday, this time 4 p.m. So please always come on the chat, and to hear any information you want, bring your question and I'll be able to answer everything. As I mentioned, this is just my own little way of helping people. This is just my own little way of passing information. There's a limit to how I can reach thousands of people, but you can always reach me on YouTube. Thank you very much, and do have a lovely time ahead. Love you all, and see you next week, Sunday. Bye. Don't let them go away. For me, I hold. For me, I hold my baby. For me, I hold. For me, I hold. For me, I hold. For me, I hold my baby. For me, I hold. For me, I hold. Some people in your life are there to make you smile, or they will take your